use, violates this identity and will fail. If we want ships, we need cargo. If we want shipyards, we need fleets. And if we want enduring maritime capability, we need a system that produces all three. And that's where we've gone wrong. For decades, we have focused on preserving pieces of the maritime base while leaving the underlying structure of demand largely untouched. We have tried to sustain fleets without enough cargo, shipyards without predictable throughput, and readiness without a system designed to generate it. The result is not a coherent maritime system. It is a collection of individual stovepipes operating in a common environment, lacking any coordinating strategy, often operating at war with each other. One part of the system is optimized for lowest cost transportation. Another is trying to preserve surge readiness. Official policy is cargo preference applies, but agency practice does not follow policy, and enforcement mechanisms with real teeth are absent. There is constant tension between the imperative for a robust and resilient maritime sector and the motivation for lowest cost transportation in individual agencies. Each is making rational local decisions, but taken together, they do not produce national capability, they undermine it. While our competitors have treated maritime as a system, they understood that if you structure cargo, fleets follow. If fleets follow, shipbuilding follows. That is how maritime power is built. In looking for a sustainable maritime policy, the impression is the maritime industry is asking for something new. But in fact, we already use public policy to sustain critical industries when market outcomes alone do not protect national interests. We do it in agriculture, we do it in energy, we do it in steel, and we do it in autos, for example. We do it because strategic sectors do not always survive hostile international competition on uneven or biased commercial terms alone. Maritime is no different. A maritime policy that mirrored the outcomes produced by current agricultural policy, for example, could go a long way towards solving our dilemma. Maritime is a critical industry. It underpins trade, supply chain resilience, industrial capacity, and national defense, and it operates in an international environment that is often hostile to American interests. We are not reinventing the wheel. It already exists, and it is in use. We just start putting it on a different axle. That is why the Maritime Action Plan matters. It gets the diagnosis right. It recognizes that shipbuilding, workforce, industrial resilience, and national security are not separate issues. They are parts of a single strategic problem and must be addressed as parts of a single strategic system and must receive support as a system. But a plan alone is not enough. We cannot continue operating inside a structure designed to reward short-term cheapness while expecting it to produce long-term capability. If we want a different outcome, we have to change the structure, both internally and in the international environment. We cannot out-China the Chinese competing in a system they have bent to their advantage. We need to alter the terms of competition, and that means beginning where maritime strength begins, cargo. It means using public policy to create the conditions for predictable demand, fleet formation, shipyard investment, and workforce continuity. It means recognizing China is not a monolithic entity destined for dominance. There are real disadvantages in the Chinese system that our advantages can exploit. It means recognizing giving maritime the kind of structural support we already provide other critical industries is not extraordinary, it is necessary, and it means treating maritime not as a residual sector to be managed in decline, but as a strategic capability that must be intentionally built. The question before us is not whether we can afford to act, it is whether we can afford to continue with a system that produces diligence, dependence, fragility, and erosion while calling it efficiency. Thank you.
Thank you, Administrator. I now recognize Rear Admiral Mike E. Campbell, and he's Director of Systems Integration and Chief Acquisitions Officer for the United States Coast Guard. Admiral Campbell, you are now recognized for 5 minutes.
Good afternoon, Chairman Kelly, Chairman Ezell, Ranking Member Courtney, Ranking Member Carbajal, and distinguished members of the subcommittees. My written testimony has been provided to the committee, and I request to have it entered into the official hearing record. Thank you for the opportunity to testify before you today to discuss the Coast Guard's role in restoring American shipbuilding. Demand for the Coast Guard has never been higher, and we are moving at speed to meet national priorities and address emerging mission requirements. Under the leadership of President Trump and Secretary Mullen, with the support of Congress and the historic investments made by the Working Families Tax Cut Act, the Coast Guard is focused on building and acquiring the right assets, the right systems, and the right infrastructure to support our people and meet mission demands in this era of competition. Our service is in the midst of the largest shipbuilding effort in our history. We are leveraging the collective capability of the maritime industrial base and select partners to design and deliver polar security cutters, Arctic security cutters, offshore patrol cutters, fast response cutters, waterways commerce cutters, homeland security cutter domestic icebreakers, and several boat classes to provide modern capabilities to meet the demands of our varied operating environment. Shipbuilding is complex and requires substantial investment. Together with the Navy and the Maritime Administration, we are pursuing the vision set forth in America's Maritime Action Plan and executing on Congress's historic investment in our fleet. I will also note our long history of cooperation with the Government Accountability Office and its review of our acquisition programs. And while at times we may disagree on some of the finer points, we appreciate and benefit from the oversight that GAO provides, and those benefits are passed on to the people that we serve. The Coast Guard recognizes the need for some change to improve our acquisitions. Over the last year, in coordination with the Department of Homeland Security, we reorganized our acquisition approach by streamlining governing processes and consolidating decision points. Additionally, the Working Families Tax Cut Act provides the service with flexibility to tailor acquisition requirements for individual programs across our diverse portfolio and execute strategies that deliver the highest return on investment. This allows the Coast Guard to engage industry faster as we modernize our fleet at speed and scale. The Coast Guard is also investing in our organic sustainment capabilities at the Coast Guard Yard in Baltimore, Maryland. The Coast Guard Yard is a critical piece of the nation's overall ship repair capacity and one of its more cost-effective and agile resources. Our shipyard will only grow more important with the construction of new piers and the addition of a floating dry dock capable of lifting our national security cutters and offshore patrol cutters. Every day, the men and women of the Coast Guard answer the call for service to the American people. We save lives. We control, secure, and defend U.S. borders and maritime approaches. We facilitate the safe flow of commerce, and we respond to crises and contingencies. We offer tremendous value for the American people and are determined to maintain this outstanding return on investment. Thank you for the opportunity to testify before you today. I look forward to any questions you may have.
With that, we'll get to question. I ask unanimous consent to enter into the record statements of support from the industry and maritime stakeholders. Without objection, so ordered.